Hello everyone, my name's Ryan, but you can call me Cheto. I'm a graphic designer and a musician, mainly a graphic designer. I've been thinking of a way to combine my two loves into one YouTube video. And what better way? I'm gonna redesign some popular album artwork. Now I've already done, so strap in. I might be ruining your favorite album. Oh, wait, hello there. Wardrobe change. I filmed that yesterday. I hadn't made anything yet. We're gonna get there. Before I do, I really want to talk about this because I feel like this might be a topic for conversation later. Just because I'm going to redo some artwork, and I have in the past, doesn't mean that I think those album artworks are bad. Very, very important. Because in fact, I think a lot of the ones that I'm going to do, I love. In fact, all three of the ones that I've done, I think are incredible and iconic in their own ways. And I think that we will have a reoccurring theme here. So with all that being said, the first one we're going to be doing today is. So we're gonna get into it. Yeah, there's no better way to start than to start. So very first thing we want to do, we want to get our references. Really important. We want to get our references. And then I kind of have this idea for like a bed of flowers. So we're gonna find something that we like. Okay, I do like this. I always like to start with a 2000 by 2000 canvas. I make all of my things in GIMP. Which might make some of you cringe, but that's how I do it. And that's how I will continue to do things. I really like the green that's in Tyler's hat and pants. It's kind of a theme here, right? Kind of a theme. So I'm gonna paint this background green, and I already have a pretty solid idea for this. So you guys will just get to see it come together, I guess. We're gonna drop these flowers in here, just like this, I guess. We're gonna have to shrink these guys, obviously, make them much smaller, get them easy to work with. We got a large file, which is awesome. So it's gonna be really high quality when I destroy them, but it's okay. We're gonna get in here. I'm gonna shrink them down, and then I'm gonna crop them into a square. Because again, like I said, I already have a pretty solid idea for what I want to do here. So we're gonna crop them into a square, and I like this portion of the image. I think it's gonna look pretty good. We're gonna blow the square up, make it just a little bit smaller than our canvas. I do want that background, and honestly, like by itself with it aligned, I think that this is already a pretty cool cover, if I can be honest. Maybe not for Flower Boy, but you know, if this was some sort of indie album by, I don't know, some band called like Sweaty Palms or something, I think that'd be pretty good. Excuse the helicopter you might hear outside. I live in a war zone. And then I'm gonna go into photocopy. You're gonna see me use this a lot. I like this for album covers. Anything kind of weird and creative like this, where you might need a monotone, or want a monotone. I just use this a lot. I like this tool. So we're gonna photocopy it, and I'm gonna blast up the mask radius. Obviously, sharpen the crap out of it. Percent black. I don't think anything changed. And then I don't know. I think this is going to be the best for what I want to do. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to select the black, delete it, and then you can see that we have a little bit of gray in here, but I'm going to color it all black, everything that we have. And then I want to take that original picture, just because it's already the same size. It'll save me a little bit of time. I'm just going to paint the entire thing black. And then I'm going to make it a border for what we have right here, because I feel like that's going to look cool. And I do already like this so far. I think that this is looking pretty neat. I think this is looking pretty neat. I think that you'll probably, hopefully agree. And if not, I'm sure you'll let me know. And then what I want to do is I want to paint these flowers. Now I have to erase all of the yellow that I've done. This could have been a lot easier, but I made it difficult. I was trying to go backwards, decided not to. So we're gonna we're gonna delete all this, we're gonna erase some of this yellow and leave us with I don't know, hopefully a cool image. Okay, well, now that we've done that, I think that it looks pretty good. We're gonna draw a border, sort of. We're making mountains. I'm taking some inspiration from the original. We're gonna have some mountains, and I want to have that sunset again. So we're drawing from our inspiration. So we're gonna drop a couple of gradients down. Maybe a couple more. And then a couple more. We're going to drop one onto the land because on the original there's a slight gradient of what looks to be blue along the horizon. So I'm going to drop that in too. And then you see the flower boy and whatnot. I have an art style that I like to do that I just refer to as my pop art, and I'm gonna take some cues from that. We're gonna do a really messy sketch over Tyler from the original cover, so that we pay homage to the look. But I feel like a really messy, sloppy sketch of him is gonna suit this pretty nicely, and I think you're probably gonna agree. So, let's get to coloring. And then we gotta do some line work too. We gotta make this a full thing. We can't just do colors. I think this messy line work is really gonna help out though. I think it's gonna instantly stylize it. And there we go. Listen guys, I think this is pretty sick. I'm a pretty big fan. I think this is cool. Just me. But I think that this pays a little bit homage to original Tyler, right? Some old Tyler. Maybe. Could just be me. But I feel like it's got that gross, sketchy look that he used to have on, say, like Cherry Bomb, before he made it someone pissing himself. We're gonna keep going, and again, you guys can just be the judge. Just tell me what you think at the end in the comments. Let me know that I ruined your favorite album, please. Getting back into it. Well, bad news bears, guys. I lost some footage. My camera died. I was not prepared. There was no will, and the family's really been fighting over who's gonna take charge. It was very shortly after I finished most of it. I'm just gonna tell you what happened. Little snippet I added. Well, actually, no, fuck it. We're just gonna show you the final. Yeah, I threw some texture on there, as well as spelled out his name and Flower Boy, obviously. Feel like it probably didn't necessarily need that. Maybe takes away. Maybe you hate it altogether, and you're very valid in feeling that way. So this one's done. We're gonna move on to the next one. So I'm not really even interested in this album, but I do like the album artwork. I think that it kind of humanizes Drake in a way because he's using his son's artwork, and it somehow looks really hard, right? Somehow it's a kid's drawing. It somehow is kind of hard, right? On that note, though, what if we made this album cover something for a hardcore band? Now, if you're watching this and it's found you somehow, chances are you probably don't listen to hardcore music, because I'm doing rap album covers because they're popular and I can put them in the tags and then you'll find it. Now, if you don't listen to any hardcore music, you wouldn't necessarily know that dogs are a pretty prevalent theme. Maybe you would, though. Maybe you would. For instance, Knocked Loose, Boundaries. Those are the two that I can think of off the top of my head. But they have dogs. It's a common thing. And it's a hardcore thing, I think. Anyway, I want to use some dog imagery to make something kind of brutalist, and a little bit shocking, a little bit mean, a little bit mean. So we're gonna make for the dogs a hardcore album, I guess. And you may have noticed in the last part that my graphic design software wasn't really working at points. I would click, you would see the click, you won't see the click anymore, but I would click and then nothing would happen, and that was a common thing, and I had to babysit the screen recording. That's what was causing that problem. So this part might look a little bit different. This one might look a little bit different than that other one. I'm still going to show you guys what's going on to the best that I can, but you're not going to tag along with me the entire time, I don't think. That all being said, let's get into it. So I want to start by just kind of selecting my color palette. Since I already have an idea for what I want to do, this won't be too difficult. So I'm going to start by making the background just like an off-white, an off-gray, and then we're going to add a section over here on the side, and that section is going to be an off black. You can already kind of see where this is going. And so in that white area, I want to get a really nasty picture of a dog. Something really gross, something really mean. And so once we have our mean, nasty dog, we're going to photocopy him, because I love photocopy. Like I said, I will use this a lot. I will absolutely use this a lot. You will see me use this for a lot of my designs. And so once we have our photocopy done, you can kind of see it taking shape already. This looks pretty mean. Now I also cropped it at a pretty awkward angle, and my reason for doing that is think about, well, you've seen the Pop Culture album by Knocked Loose, the album, the cover. I showed you. It's quite an awkward angle. It looks a little bit real, right? Also consider Around the Fur by Deftones. I think the awkward angle of that picture really carries the emotion of what you would expect in that album. And oftentimes with hardcore, you want to do the same thing. When you look at a hardcore album, you want to feel a little angry already, maybe a little bit disturbed, a little bit perturbed, a little bit uncomfortable, if you will. I think that's a really important part of the genre. If you just consider any good album cover in the hardcore scene, everything's a little bit strange, a little bit uncomfortable. Is a very common thing if you're unfamiliar with hardcore as a whole. And so I found this really cool font. It's already doubled here, but we're going to be using that for our title. And honestly, looking at it right now, it kind of already has some similarities to maybe something from Stick to Your Guns. I'm throwing out band names. If you're unfamiliar and you might be a little bit interested in hardcore music, listen, please, to the bands that I've mentioned. I think that you'll enjoy it. And then next, we're gonna get Drake in here too. And for Drake, I'm feeling something a little bit grungy. I have this font that I've been wanting to use called Bad Coma, if you're familiar. It kind of reminds me of something from like an early Eminem album, and it might be the exact same fucking font. I don't know. But we're gonna use that. We're gonna throw this in here. We're gonna grab a picture of some barbed wire off Google, and I'm gonna throw it on here somewhere. And I think it's actually gonna go in between For All the Dogs and Drake. So we're gonna throw that in. All right, now that we have our barbed wire on, I like this look so far. I think that it's looking pretty good. We are gonna have to fill some space because that image is so big, but we want to do that anyway. We want to beat this guy up a little bit. So I'm gonna apply some textures. I get a lot of mine from Tough Grit, I believe is the company name. You can look that up if you are a graphic designer and you're looking for some textures to use yourself. They have a free sampler pack as well. It's pretty solid. I'm gonna throw these in. I'm probably gonna need to get a few more, I think, but just get them off Google. So I'll see you guys in just a second. I'm gonna throw these on, okay? All right. Well, now that we have some texture on here, I think this is looking pretty good. Now we do have to do one thing, and I think it's really, really important. We got to get parental advisory. And boy, howdy, look at that. It's looking pretty good. There's a few more things I want to add. I think we're going to try and add a light. Now, rather a glow, a soft glow, if you will. Now, the way that we're going to mimic that is we're going to get our select tool. We're going to put on our feather edge, take it relatively high, and we're going to select the layers that we want to add this light to. We want to do that to all of our white layers. So I'm going to do that because, again, I have to fight my recording software a little bit. But I'll see you guys in just a second. All right, well, now that we have this glow on here, what I kind of want to do is add like a plastic wrap, maybe a few more like stickers, make it look more real and grounded. But I do like this quite a bit. I think that it's looking pretty mean. I don't know about you guys, but I would listen to this album. If it came out and it was For All the Dogs by like Hatchet Wound, I would listen to this. Now, I know that may not necessarily be for everybody, but you know, I'm a metal guy. Surprise, surprise. All right, well, this is our final product. I think this is pretty good. I like our spread that we have here. We have something very soft and artistic to now something pretty grungy and mean and brutal. This is pretty cool. We're gonna get into the next one, and I think you guys are gonna like it a lot too. So for this next one, I really want to make Nevermind into like a really pretentious indie rock or like shoegaze album that you probably just aren't cool enough to get. So with that being said, a very important thing with graphic design is less is more. Minimalism is cool, and there's ways that you can do it in ways that isn't boring as well, which is really, really important to note because a lot of people don't. My bad. But it is possible to do that, and so we are going to do that. So to get started, we're going to go into our render and use sinus, and then make this just like a dual tone. I like these shades. I used them for something earlier, but I don't think anything in this video. So this is going to be our watercolor. We have our low light and our highlight, and then all that we really want is a cool pattern. So we're going to play around with this. I think this is pretty good. And then we're going to go to waves, And we want to get something that's cool. I like this. This is pretty good. Aspect ratio. No, I think we're pretty good here. And then we want to do spherize. And all of this is doing is it's distorting it. It's making it something a little bit more avant-garde than just ripples. You can see it's got a little bit more motion here. It's very important to making something that is unique and distinct, but without compromising our minimalist ideals. And then we're going to take a circle out of what we have here. I'm opting to do something that isn't centered because I feel like that's going to help make it, again, to go back to that last one that we just did. I think something that's a little bit awkward is a little bit more memorable. So we're gonna take a frame of what we've created here, and then we're gonna use our feather select, or rather our select tool, feathered edge. We're gonna take the outside of the image, and we're gonna break it down just a little bit, clear it out. That's gonna soften the edge of the circle, and I think it's gonna look pretty good, a little bit more natural than just a hard edge, especially since we have this relatively soft gradient. Then we're gonna add some noise in here. This is a pretty common thing that you'll probably see, is gradients with a bit of noise, because it just looks cool. That's really it. That's really the reason. It just looks cool. It looks more natural than something really smooth, the way that most gradients will go down. We'll take something just a little bit less harsh. I don't want it to distort the color and the image too much. And now we're gonna add a gradient on top of it. Now my reason for this is that I want to add another layer of color to it, but only in a way that's going to distort the chroma. There's other ways to go about that, but I think that this is a way that's going to do it in a way that's a little bit unique, and we might get some different shades in here, a few different values as well. So that's the reason for that. And then I like this abstract. We'll throw it down, obviously on its own layer, and then we just want to play around with the layer types and pick something that we feel is best. Ultimately, I'm going to go with the overlay here. I feel like the overlay looks the best. I feel like it's giving us some strange shades, some interesting and unique colors, and I feel like it really draws your attention as well. And now we're going to throw down Nirvana as well as Nevermind in these top corners in this really bold font, and I want to get it really close to the edge. And then we want to just put a paper texture on here. We're not going to go too overboard with this, the way that we did our last one. We're just going to get just a simple paper texture. I think that's all that we need. Just something to liven it up a little bit, distort things. And then ultimately, I did like where that other one was going, but I decided to go back into my circle. I wanted some more ripples, and I wanted to get another angle. So with this, I just changed the aspect ratio. Obviously, the colors are different. I used a different gradient as well. I think this looks better than that other one did. I don't think that other one looked bad per se, but I think that we'll all agree that this looks better. This is far more interesting, and I think that the colors in this one are phenomenal. All right, well, that's everything. That's 3 different designs for you. If you liked any, please let me know. Leave a like if you liked. If you're not, sorry. I got nothing else for you to check out unless I do and you're watching this in the future. I'm a big fan of these. I think that they all showcase something a little bit different. I wanted a little bit of variety, and I feel like we all got that here. My favorite one's probably Nevermind. I feel like that's it's a pretty strong design there, and you know, that's something that you could do if you are learning. If for some reason you're watching this to learn things, I apologize. I could have been a better teacher. Gradient circles are still cool in my opinion. Feather those edges, but I think all of these are pretty strong and unique in their own ways. So of course, if you're watching this and you'd maybe want to see some more of this content, please let me know in the comments. You can also subscribe. It's completely free. Leave a like. It'll make me feel better, and leave a comment if I should do this again, and give me an album that I should maybe redesign. And that's pretty much it. I appreciate you watching, and hire me.